All right, so welcome everybody. This is Steve Evans, and I got to say once again, I am really excited to be on this live webinar with you tonight. Now, there'll be some of you that's probably never seen this presentation before, and I can assure you that you're going to be excited when it's all said and done. And I want to thank you again so much for jumping on. So this information that you're going to learn about tonight, I kind of want to challenge you to pay very close attention. It's really important information, so just make sure you put aside any of those distractions, you know, those cell phones and whatnot, for about the next 25-30 minutes or so. Take some notes, write your questions down, and be prepared to learn something that's new and it's really exciting. Now, today's presentation is maybe a new business option for you, and perhaps it's something that you're just hearing about for the very first time. And I'm really honored to be the one that you're hearing this from. Now, hopefully, I can encourage you to learn and to expand your way of thinking. Maybe get out of the box and change something in your life for the better. Now, like I said, my name is Steve Evans. I live just outside of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I've been involved with Trinont since November of last year. Now, I've been around network marketing for about the last 11 years, and I've had the opportunity to meet some pretty amazing people. And these people aren't so much concerned about the amount of money that they've made, but actually how many people that they've been able to help along the way. Now, don't get me wrong, the money's great and we all need it. The ability to be able to buy a new vehicle or a home or a boat's great, but it really has to mean something more than just material things. Now, I've come to realize my why for doing this was to just be able to give people a chance, just a chance to achieve what they really want. You know, give them a little bit of hope. If you can really help someone get out of debt and actually have money for retirement, I can tell you, it's a really good feeling when you can help someone change their life like that. So this company that I'm going to introduce you to is a brand new company. In fact, it's still in its startup phase. It was only just introduced into Canada in October of last year, and we're actually experiencing some really amazing growth. We've just gone over the 10,000 associates mark, and we're getting really close to disrupting the financial industry and then the direct sales industry, and actually proving to people the types of incomes that can be achieved here. Seeing what's happened in these direct sales and MLM companies, they haven't been paying people what they're worth for many years. And all we're really looking for is some really good people. Now, maybe not just average people, maybe not just par, but some really good leadership type people. People that we can build on the backs of and take this company to $1 billion really fast. Now, we're going to go through a quick overview of Trinont and the exciting opportunity it can provide to anyone who's willing to change something in their life. In fact, that's exactly what Trinont sets out to do, to change life. And their mission is to change the world's economy, one household at a time. And I got to tell you now, the word's out. People are seeing how we're meshing two companies together, how we're teaching people what they've been avoiding for many years. In fact, some people, decades and even centuries. Now we're taking industries that have been paying real residual income for many years and kind of exposing the real value of what those industries can pay people. The best part is that we wrapped it up in a great big company called Trinont, where people at any level, income, age, gender, religion, whatever, can actually get involved in all the best industries and help us with our movement. Now, Trinont is continuously partnering with billion-dollar companies involved in trillion-dollar industries. Nice part about it is all these partners utilize wholesale rates to allow us to save and to make money. Now, did you know that owning a business in North America allows us to take advantage of some of the biggest tax incentives in the land? Now, there's huge advantages. People need to know how to utilize those advantages. So, if you know when you're going to retire, what you're going to retire on, and the lifestyle you're going to have when that day comes, I want you to just go ahead and raise your hand. Now, I know that seems kind of silly because I can't see you, but I'll bet right now, if you were to look around, there aren't many hands that are raised. And that's because less than 1% of all people will ever raise their hand. So why is that? Well, most of us were taught that we need a financial planner when we come into a bit of money. And that's when we should start meeting with them, right? Well, that's what most people's thought process is. But in reality, when an individual starts filing a tax return, that's when they should start understanding what the financial plan is. And it's all about education and tools. Now, plans are available to anyone, not just people that have an excess of money. They're actually agendas or plans for everyone. Now, did you know that most people that make a lot of money also spend a lot of money? People that win the lottery in just a few years, they're broke again. They go out and they buy a brand new car, maybe a couple of them. They go on an extensive holiday. They might buy a new house, new boat, new this, new that, and before they know it, they're broke again. Well, Trinon's different because they're actually going to teach them what to do with that money. So the first thing you actually do with us is you meet with someone called a wealth specialist who is actually in the insurance industry and they have a license. So they're going to start teaching us how to have a plan, a financial plan with some of the tools that we own. Now, what you're going to think is like others have thought. Now, they've been skeptical as well. These plans are only for the elite of the elite. The plan they are actually going to show us is how you can have a retirement based on your current income right now that you're making in your life. They're going to show you what's possible. Just think about it. $40 a month going somewhere is better than no dollars a month going nowhere. Now, just keep in mind that at a later date, there's an additional compensation if you want to be part of that elite wealth team. There's an ABC step-by-step plan for doing this. It's not that difficult. You go through some education courses and you have to become licensed in the insurance industry. But there's some really substantial additional income available if you choose to do this. So when you meet with a wealth specialist, you're going to hear something about our core products. And your wealth specialist is going to show you the very first one, and that's called Trinon OneView. Now, it's a product that's going to teach you how to have a budget. Now, more people need to know how to have a budget. Financial planners will tell you the exact same thing, but less than 1% of the population actually have a budget, an actual spending plan. So our product is called OneView. It links up all of your accounts, all your income, all your debt, all on one screen. Now, that might be a scary kind of concept for a lot of people. I know it was for me. But you're going to see what's going in and what's going out. That's important because some people, they make 40 to 50 grand a month, but they spend 45 to 55 grand a month. Everyone needs OneView, whether they're wealthy, average, or broke. Everyone needs to be accountable to themselves, and this is where OneView is really, really beneficial. Now, the next product is actually going to help you be defended. Defended against things like identity theft. Now, the fastest growing crime in the world is identity theft. Now, everyone knows of someone or may have been personally involved with identity theft. Now, this is important because if you're going to be borrowing money to purchase a house or a new car, you probably want to know what your credit score is. So you need to know that someone is actually watching your credit and monitoring your credit, protecting you against thieves. You can even protect your entire family. Now, the #1 age group right now for identity theft is below the age of 18. That's crazy, 18. Now, something else we're going to do is we're going to do computer cleanup and makeover for free. Now, that's included in your monthly membership. It's all part of the identity theft protection. We're going to get them to help you clean and protect your computers and let you know if you've got any viruses or risks that might be there, because actually that's where most of the identity thefts occur, because people access the internet with devices that are out of date. Next thing we're going to do is we're also going to show you the tax code and help you educate you about the money that you're actually leaving on the table. Now, people are actually overpaying on their taxes. Now, how do people celebrate when they have a tax return? Well, most people get really excited. Now, did you know that's your own money that you're getting back? And in reality, all you've really done is lent it to the government for a little while to look after it for you. And they use it and they make interest on it and they give it back to you at exactly the same value they borrowed it. And we get excited about that. Now, Trinon Tax is my absolute favorite one of the core products. It's actually an app that runs on iOS and Android devices, and it allows you to track your mileage, to digitally store your receipts, and keep an accounting of all your expenses. And this is really a must-have for anybody that pays taxes. So you can start tracking your tax deductions, and you can actually see your tax deductions at the bottom of your phone. Now, for most people, that should be an aha moment. Now, when you get in your car and you hit 15 kilometers an hour, your app turns on and it starts tracking your mileage. Let's say you're out to dinner or you're out to lunch. You take a picture of your receipt and it stores it up in the cloud. Simple things that help you keep more money in your household. Then we're going to find you ways to invest that money to save for your retirement plan. Now, the next one is one of our newest ones, and that's Trinont Legal. And I've just talked to somebody today that informed me that Trinont Legal should be launched, should be live on Monday in Canada. And they're currently working on their website, doing some upgrades to for the Canadian content. But just imagine, Core Products now have legal services with Trinont. Now, after all, we all know that having an attorney is really cheap, right? No, not really. Now, who's got the need for an attorney? Well, everybody at some time or another might need an attorney. So now it's been added to our Core Products. Now, the Core Product price didn't increase, but the value sure did. So let's just imagine you might need a letter sent out, a will put together, an uncontested divorce looked after, maybe an adoption. Maybe you're creating a company or a corporation. You're going to have legal advice at your fingertips. Now, maybe having other ventures on the side, you might require legal advice. I think it's nice to be able to have an attorney that does all those things for you and included in your monthly membership. These Core Products is all about building foundation first. Now, that's exactly where they all come into play. So after that, we're going to show you how to increase your wealth with our retail services that have been actually proven to pay lots of residual income. Now, we found ways to redirect money that businesses are already spending, helping you get paid a residual commission from businesses when they pay their bills. So the first one you're going to see is something called merchant processing. So who's ever used a debit or a credit card lately? Now, did you know that every time money's moved, money's made? There's fees assessed every single time someone swipes their credit or their debit card. So just think about the gas station you go to, your favorite restaurant, maybe a hair salon. There's hundreds of thousands of small businesses in North America. And there's millions of businesses every day processing thousands of dollars or more in debit and credit cards. Now, with national processing, we actually have something we call a true partnership. Because all you do is put the company's name in, the owner's name, a phone number, an email, and how you know them, when is the best time to call, press the submit button, and national processing does all the rest. We don't have to talk rates, we don't talk figures, we don't talk equipment, because this is a referral business. All we do is refer, move on, and let them do the work. Now, national processing is in the top 3 merchant processing companies in North America. And the nice part about it is they guarantee their rates and they guarantee their customer service. In fact, they're so confident they'll actually give the owner of the company a $500 Visa gift card if they can't beat what they currently have. So the next business is one that deals in business phones. It's through a company called Jive. Now, let's just face it, businesses have phones. Now, through Jive, we offer a hosted VoIP system. VoIP means Voice over Internet Protocol. And it's a phone system that runs on the Internet. You can run your entire phone system online from a web portal. You're going to spend less time managing simple changes and more time moving your organization forward. Now, all Jive features and settings are customizable in real time. You can access your calls, voicemail, and your user settings from anywhere that you have Internet access. Now, average savings on business phone systems range from 10% to 42% per year. Imagine the savings over the next 10 to 20 years. Imagine just getting a small portion of that savings. Now, the next service is something dealing with background checks. It's the ability to help companies manage employees, help landlords with property management, and so on and so forth. Now, hundreds of millions of background checks a day are done. Now, companies are paying thousands and thousands of dollars a year for them. Now, the biggest loss for any employer is employee theft. And in some places, it's actually the law for companies to check to see if there's potential employees who may have been felons or might even be on the sex offenders list. So if you're an employer hiring a new employee, a landlord taking on a new tenant, or a corporation that needs to provide an ongoing screening or drug testing, VicTig is the company that we refer. So the next product is something called Business Defend. And it's kind of like our core product, Identity Theft, only it's for small and mid-sized businesses and organizations, and it's done through our partner Invisys. Now, protection against those exact same things like computer viruses, malware, etc., and they also provide services and solutions for personal and home use. So the next thing that's coming up is licensed products. Now, some people come to Trinont not because they're interested in becoming a business builder, but because they're interested in becoming a wealth specialist. Looking after retirement plans, diversifying people's wealth, and putting people in better positions. And that's what they come to Trinont for. Now, in June, down in Las Vegas, we're going to get the final launch on hopefully on our insurance products, and we're going to learn more and exactly where we can go with these. Now, if you remember back towards the beginning of this presentation, I said there was an additional wealth plan for people who only want to be wealth specialists. Well, that's exactly what this is. And we've got customers that come here and they only want to do this. And then finally, there's a couple of cool ones. Trinont Tax Services and then Credit Management. So starting this year is Trinont Tax Services. Now, everyone with Trinont, all the associates, a part of your membership, you're going to have access to one personal and one corporate tax return. And then something that's coming really soon, hopefully in June, is credit management. Now, we don't use credit repair, credit building, and credit reports. We use credit management. We teach people how to manage their credit properly. Yeah, we can help them fix their credit, but more importantly, how to prevent credit problems before they start. Now, some of these services are going to be moved up into the core products, so the associates benefit from these services as well, at no additional cost. So let's move on now, and let's find out how you actually get started in this company. So you can look at it something like a franchise fee. Getting started is $349 US. Now, I'm not even going to cover why we pay money to start a business. Everyone on this webinar, they should understand what business is all about and just realize that's just the way of doing business. So, $349 to use Trinont's name, the back offices, the websites, and all of those services that we just mentioned. Now, most of you will win just because of the taxes you'll save and the financial education you'll get. And this will far outweigh the cost of the sign-up fee and the monthly membership. Paying $349 one time is pretty cheap to start your own business. Now, $49 of that $349 covers your first year's business fee. Now, every year to keep your business thereafter is $49 a year as a renewal. Kind of look at that as a license that you have to renew every year. And this qualifies you to keep earning commissions in your business. Now, the cool thing is that when you pay your $349, $100 of that is actually removed to pay for those core services that we talked about for the first month. And that's done the moment you join. And that way you can actually familiarize yourself with your products, and you can become a product of the product. You'll just be going to learn everything you need to know about those products. You're going to learn how they work and put them into action so that you'll be better able to refer them to your new prospects. And you're also going to have your very first tax-deductible write-off for your new businesses. So customers can actually pay for those core services and not be a member of Trinont. So customers are going to be a requirement later this year when the MLM rules change for every network marketing company. So it's pretty simple. If you want to get paid, keep using the core services and or refer services to customers that equal $115. Services such as merchant processing, Jive business phones, the background checks, the tax app, etc. So people are going to say, oh, well, yeah, you have to use the core services in Trinont in order to get paid in the company. Well, that's actually incorrect. That's false. We highly recommend them, and that's why the company was started with those services first, so that we didn't end up with a bunch of high maintenance associates who we're paying a lot of money to, filing bankruptcy, and then it makes Trinont look bad. But that's not all. We've got some amazing wholesale services coming soon. Services like life, disability, critical illness, and key person insurance. And Trinont's entered into talks in Canada with Rogers, and we should be learning more about the cell phone services as well as the rest of these services in June at the national event in Las Vegas. Now imagine not only saving people money on their cellular bill, but earning a commission on it as well, or maybe even getting yours for free. Now, how about saving money on your energy bills, satellite, cable, and internet? How about retirement planning and home and auto insurance? Now, we've already been told that home and auto insurance is going to be released in Canada any day. And excuse me. And finally, what about group benefits, employment benefits for Trinont associates such as dental, prescription, paramedical, and travel? Now, these services aren't available right now, but some vendors are already in the pre-launch phase. So let's look at the ways that you can actually earn. Now, there's really 7 ways. Now, out of the 7 ways, my favorite way to get paid is with residuals. So you're going to get paid up to 30% for every service or customer you refer. Yeah, that's 30%, not 1%, 2%, or 5%, but 30%. So here's an example of how it works. Let's just say you refer in 21 services averaging $100 a month. That's $2,100 a month of commissionable billing, and that's at 30%. So you're going to earn $630 every month, or just over $7,500 every year. So here's how the breakdown works. If you've got 1 to 10 customers, you're going to get paid 10%. If you've got 11 to 20, you're going to get paid 15%, and then at 21 over or plus, you get 30%. Yep, that's when you reach 30%, Trinont grandfathers all of the accounts back to account number 1. Now, accounts can come in any combination or form that you want. Now, some of you can go out and refer the core products, or you can actually have people using our legal services. Just for a quick example, it's something like $17.95 a month to have a basic attorney if your family or friends want it. And that can count as a customer. Now the tax app or a merchant account or business phone, and that they all count as customers as well. So let's just move on to the next way that you can earn money. You can actually earn money by building teams. Now building teams is something that you should love. You shouldn't hate it. Now, the image on the screen there implies that you actually build 3 teams. Please don't build 3 teams, just build 2. If it's you, you can have your spouse and another family member and maybe a good friend under your spouse. And I'll give you a hint. Any business services that you bring on and put under your spouse, you're going to get paid twice on them. Your spouse makes a residual on that, and you get paid an override. In other words, you're going to get paid twice. So once you get to this position, you have 3 active associates sponsored, and they're all using the core services. You're now going to receive a $100 bonus, and that is in US dollars. Now, this is at the executive level. And this $100 doesn't include any customers or business service volume. So now if we go on to our next position, it's called FC, or Financial Consultant. Now, you've sponsored 3 active associates and you're maintaining 1,200 points of group volume. So there's actually 2 ways to hit this position. The first way is, if you've got those 3 associates there and refer 1,200 points or $1,200 of volume, or you can help each one of your associates personally sponsor 3 active associates. So now you're going to get a bonus of $250 in addition to that $100 executive bonus. So now you got a choice. Your residual's either going to be that $350 or $500 plus $100 executive bonus for a total of $600 a month. Now, if it's $600 a month, it's because you've actually chosen our Jeep program. Now, Rubicon, a Wrangler, a Cherokee, or a Grand Cherokee. It's got to be at least 3 years old or newer. And people are qualifying for the Jeep bonus in as little as a week or even a month. Now, you find me an investment where you can make a residual of $600 in less than a month. I don't think you can. So moving on, here's our positions right now. Now, you might not know what this means, but when you get trained in your first 24 to 48 hours, we're going to go over this in a very simplistic way so that you can actually understand how it works. Yeah, there's a lot of money, but my favorite column is the life bonus column. Now, as long as you've got some kind of a wealth plan, you're going to get rewarded for having a foundation. You can actually receive additional money every month just because you have a wealth plan. Now, every month, all the residuals are paid out, your name pops up, and because you've got a wealth plan, you can receive or you can be eligible for another check every month. So the plan that you actually make with your wealth specialist way back at the beginning, the company is actually paying for out of their pocket. Now, Ternant will prove that all the other companies need a plan like this, and Ternant will prove to other direct sales companies and MLMs to quit overlooking their associates and teach them what to do with their money. Now, it's not who you recruit, it's who you keep. Now, I'm going to repeat that. It's not who you recruit, it's who you keep. We want people to stay with Ternant. So finally, we're going to teach you how to acquire customers, how to build and develop teams, and we're actually going to start having regional and local events. Now, just remember, you're in business for yourself, but never by yourself. Now, here's something that's really exciting I want you to look out for. June 17th and 18th. We're going to be in Las Vegas. Now, I know that that's not that far away. Now, I'll be upfront with you. It's not that hard to get a customer, and it's not hard to build a team. That's not where people actually fail or fall down. It's right here. You've got to be able to look ahead and see the vision of where this is going and figure out a way to be at this event. Businesses explode after big events. There's going to be some huge announcements at Vegas. Now, the company's going to launch all the new Canadian services, and they're going to open up the head office in Vancouver. There's going to be tons of recognition and new services. You're going to want to be there, so start figuring out how you can make this happen. So now you might be asking yourself, well, what's next? Well, I would strongly suggest you get started. Just sign up and become an associate partner. Start your business. Remember, it's only $349 to get all your tools and to get your business up and running. All the products and services are available to associates at wholesale prices. And yes, go ahead and schedule your Fast Start launch within the first 24 to 48 hours of signing up. And finally, schedule your CNA. Get started on your wealth plan as soon as possible. You can also become a customer. You can see how you can save money with one or more of our core products and the wholesale services. Now, there's no membership fees, and you can bypass retailers and salespeople and save on services that you're going to buy anyway. Now, there's no obligations to buy anything. All you're going to do is pick the services that you want yourself. So I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. Where were you 5 years ago financially? And what's changed since then? Has anything improved? Now, where do you go from here? What's the future hold for you and your family? Now, do you have a financial plan to get you there? Do you have a strategy? And is it going to provide you with what you really want? And do you see an opportunity here to maybe help you achieve your goals? So finally, in closing, I want to thank everybody for coming in on this webinar, and I do apologize again for getting the late start. I noticed that Kim never ever really did get on here, so it's a good thing that it has been recorded. I just want to say that we're truly excited by the prospects of working with each and every one of you. So get back with the person who invited you and get your questions answered. And just get started today and get on your way to freedom that you've always dreamed about but never been able to achieve.